Warning, the Dub Talk podcast may contain language and content that may not be suitable for younger audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Please be advised that spoilers for any anime series may occur, so if you're not caught up with any anime series we may discuss, please be prepared for spoilers, Gavna.
One and all, and welcome to Dub Talk, the show where a group of scientists get together, explore the world, and try not to get taken over by corpses. My name is Megan, and welcome to the first summer at the movies.
Woohoo!
Yeah!
Yay!
Yay for new things!
Yay for new things! As you saw by our spring announcement arc episode that was announced in the middle of the summer, because fuck all if I know, we are starting Summer at the Movies, a 2-month event where we are going to go through various anime films, Siskel and Ebert style, and review the dubs for them. Tonight, we take on our maiden voyage with Empire of Corpses. Tonight, I have with me not only myself, Megan, because I'm apparently my own partner, but I
That's
also
one way to
have...
put it.
There's some legislature that'll never pass.
Shh, don't worry, I have my own corpse.
No.
I dug up all the fucks
In the
I
basement.
give. Reese, I've dug up all the fucks I give. Ah, shit, there's
There
nothing
we go. There we go, done.
here. No, but tonight I have with me Lilac and Lack.
Woo!
Hi.
Let's see how mixed up that gets.
Yeah.
Lilac and Lack, yep. Two names close to each other, that's gonna get confusing real fast.
Yeah.
It's the
If it makes it
L&L
easier,
squad.
you can just call me Liam. Like, you know.
It's true.
Another
Liam and
L
Stephanie.
name, that's good. I was say another L name, hang on, that makes it even better.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll just call you Steph tonight then.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so tonight, if you haven't guessed, we are talking about Empire of Corpses, the 2016 film that had a limited run in theaters around April of last year, based off of the unfinished novel by the author Project Itoh, who has done 2 other films, one of them being reviewed later in the summer of movies. But to go over the basic...
next week, technically.
Technically next week. Yeah, next week.
Next week, yes.
So to go over a basic summary of the movie, based on the theory of Victor Frankenstein, the world has started using raised... I have this typed down from A&N and I can't even read.
Good job.
Books are hard. Words are hard.
Copy paste.
English
copy,
is
paste, copy,
hard.
paste.
Copy paste, copy paste.
Reading's hard, guys.
Reading is hard. Alright, so anyway, based on the theory of Victor Frankenstein, the world has started using raised dead, though with no soul in it, for regular mundane work. You know, like, Industrial Revolution shit. Dr. Watson, a medical student at the University of London, illegally researches for the missing soul in the dead with the help of Friday, his dead best friend. Because nothing says I love you like desecrating someone's grave. Finally,
To be fair, it was Friday's request.
Yeah, Friday asked him to desecrate his grave.
Friday asked.
Finally, Watson is caught by Mr. M, working for the British Crown, and is sent on a goose chase for the notes of Victor Frankenstein, which detail the creation of the first and only dead attached with a soul. Dr. Watson accepts the deal with his own motive behind the pursuit of the notes. So essentially, this movie has everything you could ever love. Sherlock Holmes references, zombies, punching zombies, exploding zombies.
Every kind of zombie.
Yeah, you know, if I'm being totally honest, it feels like this movie was specifically made for me. Because this is like everything I love rolled into one, so...
Zombies
movie,
punching
good choice.
a submarine with a drill. I mean, as I
Yep.
think Amon said it in the best, how can you not love a movie where a man boxes Frankenstein with a flamethrower?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I forgot about that. That's great. Go Barnaby.
I mean, that's Wit Studio for you, right? The kitchen
This is
sink and
Wit,
all
yeah.
that, so...
That's Wit Studio. They'll just and make it look pretty at the
Yeah.
same time.
Wit Studio, this is what the fuck we were doing while it took us 4 years to finish Attack on Titan Season 2.
Yeah.
giving us everything you thought you never wanted.
They're doing the third one, right?
No, it's somebody else.
Okay.
Third one was originally Manglobe before Manglobe went under.
Okay.
Yeah, it's being given to someone else though.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the studio.
Genocidal organ, or am I?
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
Genocidal Organ.
Genocidal organ. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think last I heard it was scheduled for a theatrical release in Japan at the end of the year.
Okay.
Don't
yeah, I
quote me
think
on that,
they had a trailer out, didn't they? There's a trailer out
Yeah, there's
now,
a
right?
trailer out
so.
for it. Yeah.
But I think that was before Manglobe went under too.
Yeah, Manglobe was originally supposed to actually be released before this. However, due to Manglobe's bankruptcy, the film release has been postponed. It was later announced on November 13th of 2015. The film had resumed with the same staff under the newly created Geno Studio with hopes to complete the film by 2016. The film was actually released on February 3rd, 2017.
Okay, so it was released in Japan already.
It is out in Japan.
Okay.
Maybe if they make enough money, maybe we'll get to see Gangsta Season 2. You never know.
Hopefully, yeah.
Maybe.
For the love of God,
doubt
please
that,
give us
though.
Gangsta Season 2, Geno Studio.
Yeah.
I hope the sales of the
For the
show
love
went
of
well
God.
and good
For
in
the
the
love of
US.
God, because that first season ended in the worst possible way.
Yeah.
Just
the
remember
love
the
of
good
God.
times where Nick was beating up a motherfucker in front of a small child and a doctor.
Yeah.
I say
Anyway.
this as I have a shirtless Nick and Worig on my wall above where I sleep, by the way.
Yes.
They're actually very nice prints, and I will send pictures.
They are really nice friends, actually. I've seen them.
Anyway, so enough about Gangsta, sadly. We are here to talk about Empire of Corpses and its wonderful time. So, starting off, every good series needs a director and writer. Obviously, we don't have any predictions because this came out as a limited run last year and then was released on DVD and Blu-ray later the same year. I believe it was released in April in the theaters because I went to go see it. Being the only fucking theater in Florida to have it.
Good for you.
I
'Cause
checked.
my closest one was Cambridge, and I had no way to get it, and the
I
run was immediately after work.
I checked. And then I believe it was again released in August. So our director was the one and only Mike McFarlane.
What?
He also wrote the film alongside J. Michael Tatum. To go over Mike McFarlane as a director, he has also directed the films Summer Wars and The Boy and the Beast, as well as he's currently directing Attack on Titan Season 2, as he did also direct on Season 1. He's also written for shows such as Beck Mongolian Chop Squad, Mob Psycho 100, and One Punch Man. Going over J. Michael Tatum's resume for writing, he's written a lot of things. He's also written for shows such as 91 Days, ACA 13 Territory Inspections Department, and Steins Gate. God, mouthful.
So yeah, for those who, if you recall the Mob Psycho 100 episode, where we did not know who the writer was, and it was not announced at the time. So I think like a day or two after that episode went up, we finally got confirmation from Mike McFarlane that he was the writer, and at that point I'm like, damn it, the timing is terrible!
I
Why'd
believe
you
he
say this
actually trolled Jamal on that.
Yeah, I think he did. I think Jamal was like, damn it! But I was like, worst timing ever, Mike McFarlane. You could have said this just like a day or two earlier. I could have made changes, and then we'd be good.
Anyway,
well.
so our thoughts on the writing and direction of this film.
If I'm being totally honest, absolutely phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
Honestly, yes.
is, as far as I'm concerned, like, the accents never came across as, like, cringy to me at all. Like, as cliche as it is to use the term cringy. But my point is just that, yeah, like, everybody was given great material to work with, and it really felt like Mike and Jay both had a lot of affection for the project they were working on. So...
Yeah, I think what helped on the accent front, they actually had a dialect coach or dialect advisor hired on.
No kidding.
Yeah, to work
I know for
on
the Russians
those dialects.
specifically.
Actually, Russians and the English.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they had. I knew the Russian one, but not the English one.
Definitely the Russian. I think English too. Only because I rewatched the film last night, and there was a small little feature that was on the DVD Blu-ray release where Mike and Tatum were just doing this little simple, like, questionnaire kind of thing, and they mentioned that they brought a dialect advisor in for those accents. And they also spoke to other people, but we're going to talk about them later, so.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that really helps is that this being a period piece, I feel like plays to both Tatum's strengths in writings, while letting him still have a lot of fun, because this movie is a ton of fun. Despite talking about a lot of really heavy stuff.
Yeah.
There's some...
Well, it's fan fiction. I mean, it's very, very well done fan fiction, but it's fan fiction.
Yeah,
so,
this is
like
some great
Gargoyles.
Mary Shelley fan fiction.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But, I mean, there are points of it that are just very, very off the wall and just insane. But nothing ever feels, like, over the top without being, like, watering it down in terms of tone. Like, because there is a lot of ham to eat. And a lot of scene to chew in this movie.
Let's talk about Barnaby.
We'll get to him.
Barnaby.
We'll get to Barnaby. But even then, he probably is one of my favorite funny comedic timing moments in the movie. After Hadley and Watson talk, and he's just there taking a piss.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That was great.
That's probably one of my favorite moments in the whole movie.
Barnaby's the biggest cock block. It's great.
Where'd you get that flamethrower, Hadley? World War II hasn't happened yet. I could be totally wrong and the flamethrower was invented before World War II, but my brain has gone out the window. I've been up since 5 a.m. But I feel like also, too, with directing-wise, Mike McFarlane, his work speaks for itself, I think, at this point.
Yeah, honestly.
I can't think of a series or a movie that I've watched of his, especially in recent years since the beginning of the simuldub era, that has been bad or weak.
I mean,
No
Mike
exception.
McFarlane is almost, like, singularly responsible for kind of bringing dubs into the way they are since, like, the early 2000s.
I mean, FMA being a staple of
the English dub.
Of the English dub and how it's done. And his work over, even...
And it's funny because he wasn't really supposed to be the director of that. So,
Wait,
you know.
what?
I didn't know that.
It was supposed to be Justin Cook. So.
Oh, I didn't know
Thank God that didn't happen.
No offense, I like the Yu Yu Hakusho dub.
No offense, Justin Cook, but... I mean, obviously, like, even when you look at, like, your shelves and stuff that he's worked on outside of films, things like Noragami, things like FMA, Tokyo Ghoul being really into mine. Even when there's stuff that you don't expect him to work on that's really good. Noreen.
Yeah.
Noreen. And then he's obviously working on another show that we're not talking about yet. Because we have an episode for it, and it's one of the holy grail missing anime in the world.
Oh, yes.
That's getting its own fucking episode.
The holy grail.
But I think the two of them together make an exceptional team, writing and directing. Because I feel like, compared to other directors, Tatum does have his issues as a writer, but they don't rear their head here.
Yeah, because this is his environment right here.
About to say, so long as you give Tatum the right show to work on, you're good. I mean, 91 Days and Aka 13 are huge examples here.
Yeah.
Where
plus he's got so much experience from Black Butler at this point. Like,
that's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
But does anybody else have anything to say on the director and writer of Empire of Corpses?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really solid staff, like, writer-director front here. And, I mean, kind of like we mentioned before, it really, having those dialect coaches come in too. Because essentially how Mike McFarlane described it in that little special feature that was on the DVD Blu-ray, basically they would, like, have everything recorded, but they would make sure the dialect coaches kind of go in there and look at them and be like, oh, that works, that's not quite it, that inflection there, just to make sure everything is still solid and authentic to how the dialect should be. And that's actually an interesting process. I was like, okay, cool.
Another element, just before we move on, I think a lot of the affection for this particular project for them comes from the fact that we rarely get anime like this anymore.
Yeah.
So I think they really wanted to like get this right because they don't get a lot of opportunities to work with projects like this.
And I think Empire of Corpses was also one of the larger films that was going to be going out on like a limited release in theaters too.
Yeah.
Because I think this one was after. Yeah, this one was after Boy and the Beast, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, they took
after.
care. Yeah, they took very special care because I mean the Funimation Films department, that program was still fairly new at the time, so obviously they had to make sure like it would be successful at the same time.
I think this was like the second movie for
Yeah.
it, if I'm right, and obviously it's grown since.
It's either this or the Psycho-Pass movie. That was the second movie after Boy and the Beast.
Right.
It might have been Psycho-Pass and then maybe this was the third one. I can't remember.
And even then, since then, they've done a lot of other movies. I know they did Shin Godzilla. They've done the original Ghost in the Shells.
Yep.
Ghost in the Shell. They're going to be doing Black Butler Book of the Atlantic very soon.
Yeah.
I know, baby. You're not going out
Or-
there 'cause
or-
you keep knocking shit over.
Or I think by the time this goes up, it'll have already had its run in
Yeah.
theaters.
And of course, there's no theaters near me, fuckers.
Same.
That is the only
At this
downside,
point.
is that a lot of theaters don't have certain things. Your Name being the biggest example, where I had to drive 2 hours out of my way to find a dub showing.
Well, the only films I've seen in theaters since they started this was Boy and the Beast and Your Name.
True.
Because all the other ones have been in Cambridge on a weeknight for 2 days. And I can't go from work directly to Cambridge to watch a damn movie when I get out at 6 and the movie's at 7. I don't
Keyword,
have a
more
freaking
showings,
car.
please.
Yes, more showings and more theaters, please. Please.
Alright. So, moving on, the next two characters we're going to talk about don't have a large presence in the film. However, they were named at least on the A&N page, and actually get their own pages in the art book for this movie I have. I'm dead serious. That being Moneypenny, who is M's assistant, and I can't believe I'm going to get to say these words, Thomas Edison!
Thomas fucking Edison.
Thomas fucking Edison.
Couldn't
Creator
bother to
of-
try to bring that elephant back to life, could you, Tom? Okay.
I've had to watch that for class.
Oh, jeez.
I'm a film studies major. My first week in our history class that went from the beginning of film to the 1950s was spent watching Edison's Black Dahlia work. When Topsy the Elephant came on, I literally shoved my head down and wouldn't bring it up until it was done. I refused to watch it. I was like,
no.
done. And there was this poor girl in my class, had no idea this was coming, and she was so upset afterwards.
Oh my god. Anyways.
It was still only the second most upsetting night in that whole debate of getting my degree. Anyway, Moneypenny is played by Miss Caitlin Glass, who is known for playing Haruhi in Ouran High School Host Club, Retori in Show by Rock, and Winry in Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Thomas Edison is played by Christopher Guerrero, who plays Ainz in Overlord, Gecko Moria in One Piece, and the narrator of Toriko. Huzzah! At least it's not a dog.
At least it's not a dog.
Thomas Edison is a dog in real fucking life. FYI, have we mentioned Thomas Edison was a horrible person?
He was a bit of a product of his time.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit. We can have the Tesla versus Edison debate another day.
Yes.
But, general feelings of this, I kind of wish they were in the movie a little bit more. Because I feel like you put two really good actors on characters who really don't do much.
I know. I actually expected to see Moneypenny more than we did, because when I found out that there were James Bond characters in this thing, I was like, I have to see this thing. I don't care what it's about. You set James Bond characters in a Victorian era England. I have to see what you're doing with that.
Surprise! She's a secretary and then dies partway through the movie.
Well, yeah.
Only to be reborn again? Yeah. How does that work? Logic?
Yep.
Logic.
Well, that's kind of what Moneypenny was in the movies, but yeah. So.
Fair enough.
True.
Yeah.
But Edison gets I was actually really surprised that was Chris Carrero.
I was too.
Yeah.
Because I had the ANN cast listing pulled up while I was watching the movie yesterday. And then I was like, wait a minute. No, Chris Carrero's Edison. Wait. And then I got to it and I'm like, okay, yes, I hear it.
Yeah. Why is dodging a subroutine? It's not that complex!
Yeah, by the way, in this movie, Edison has not only made his own robotic daughter, he's also made a submarine with a giant drill on it.
Yep. True facts.
Because fuck you, that's why.
Well, that was probably 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, is what that was meant to be in reference to.
Yeah, because this movie is like a weird mishmash of science fiction related references.
It's basically the Japanese equivalent of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Kind of is, yeah.
Oh my god, that's the most accurate statement I've ever heard in my life.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lack.
No problem.
And to be fair, this is the one that was never actually finished by. This was published after the death of Project Itoh.
That's actually really interesting.
So,
in that case, it's actually surprising how completed the ending feels.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Weird.
Yes.
It actually does have a pretty satisfying ending. So, I don't know.
Yeah, because this one was actually finished in 2012. So this one didn't come out until about 4 years after his death. Because Genocidal Organ was finished in 2007. It's not 2017, Jesus Christ. And then Harmony was finished in 2008.
Okay.
So
mind you, these are the books, not the films.
Not the movies. These are the books that they were based off of. But I had a thing that was. Now I have to pull this up because everyone's name is a fucking reference to something.
Yeah, honestly, it is.
But honestly though, they are two really interesting voices for characters that maybe get 5 minutes of screen time tops.
Yeah. It's kind of disappointing.
Yep.
It's like, can they do more? Keys.
Oh. Anyway, so are we good to move on with each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about presidents.
Let's talk. God, Ulysses Simpson's Grant. He would scream in Raven Rant. I've had that part of the president song stuck in my head ever since I had to write this list down.
God.
Next up is Ulysses S. Grant. Oh my god, I should know what number president he is, and I'm not.
Well, if Lincoln was our 14th, then yeah, he would have to be around
16.
Yeah.
He's 16. Oh yeah, right. Duh, because the guy who took over was 15.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, he's the 18th president of the United States.
Oh, okay.
That was bad on us. My bad.
Anyway,
we
know history, guys. It's okay.
No, because Lincoln was 16, Andrew Johnson was 17, and Ulysses.
Okay.
Oh, he was 16. Oops. Yep, you're right.
Whoops.
Sorry.
Whoopsies. It's okay, don't worry. We went to schools.
We got the order of the presidents right, just the wrong number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Haha. And then there is Yamazawa, who is when Barnaby, Friday, and Watson go to Japan. He is their contact, known for being in the Japanese army, and who has giantly massive eyebrows.
Best mustache, too.
And the best mustache. That man has eyebrows to match the guy from FLCL.
Yeah, actually. Kind of does.
Yeah.
So, Grant is played by Greg Dulce, and Yamazawa is played by Kenny Green. Greg Dulce...
Kenny Green.
We're getting there. Greg Dulce is known as Dopo from Baki the Grappler. He is Uranos Corsica in Gangsta. And he is Kurt von Rudendorf from Saga of Tanya the Evil. Kenny Green is Koreo, I Need to Now Take a Shower, Motto from Tokyo Ghoul, Rain Spider in Desert Punk, and Fu in FMA Brotherhood. Thoughts? I think that Ulysses Grant was great. Greg as Ulysses Grant was great, because I did not expect Ulysses Grant to be a villain.
Yeah.
Well,
honestly.
I mean, if you're Robert E. Lee, then...
Well,
History
fair.
joke!
Okay, to be fair.
Okay.
But Civil War, let's go. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a horrible time for our country. Anyway.
horrible time for our country, and I would like to point out that the Civil War makes no sense in this movie if it was fought by slavish corpses.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks,
no
Japan.
sense at all. But yeah,
But
I did enjoy Greg Dulce as Grant. That was fun. And fucking Kenny Green.
I did not need to take a shower after watching his character in this movie.
Oh my god. Yeah, I liked Kenny Green too as Yamazawa. Like, it made... Because obviously, when we go to Japan, any characters who are Japanese, they actually don't have an accent. So, you just hear them speaking, like, regular English, because that's what we're used to, like, when it comes to anime dubs anyway. So, and I think Kenny Green's voice for Yamazawa helps also make a good contrast to, like, Watson and Barnaby, and some of the other characters in here, too.
Yeah. As far as, I can't really remember that much, but, like, I do remember really liking Ulysses S. Grant's voice in this. We don't really see Sego much, as far as I recall, right? So...
Yeah, Yamazawa's only kind of there just for the sequence in Japan.
Yeah.
So unfortunately he's not there as much, but I think what Steph said really does help. But I also feel like it is a little bit weird, especially because the American characters also have no accents, really.
That is true.
Yeah, that is an issue, but...
Which surprises me because Edison is from fucking Jersey.
It's a problem, and this might be something where Funimation needs to start considering getting more Asian actors for this particular situation, because in most cases, Asian accents are... When people try to emulate Asian accents, that is the one time where it's really noticeable that it almost feels like you're making fun of a culture when you're not trying to.
Yes.
Right.
And that's why, like, I'm not trying to tell Funimation how to do their job. They're all experts and they're all great at it. But there is that part where you need to consider, okay, maybe we need to start thinking about trying to hire some more Asian actors, because when you're hiring people, sometimes race does have to be a factor in the type of character you're casting. So it's like, it's okay that, yes, we are specifically looking for Asian actors because we want an authentic performance for this character. So,
and now there are times that directors do that, because if I'm correct, for the Chinese character in Ping Pong the Animation,
yes,
Chris Bevins went out of his way to get a Chinese American actor.
Right.
Great example. It was phenomenal.
So, and it is there, and it also does beg the question that for Mike McFarlane in Attack on Titan, that the Asian descendant Mikasa is played by Trina Nishimura.
Trina Nishimura.
Who is of Japanese American descent.
Yeah, she even says in the commentary, I'm a half-C, like her. So, you know, it works perfectly. So,
and then there, Todd Haberkorn, I know as well, is Asian American.
Johnny O. Bosch, too. So, you know.
Johnny O. Bosch. Don Bennett is Asian American. Rico Fajardo is Asian American. They're both Filipino Americans.
Stephanie Shea.
Afia, I believe Afia, you and Micah are both Filipino?
Yeah, something like that.
I think so,
Yeah.
Yeah. I know specifically Don and Rico are very, very proud of being Filipino American. Rico Fajardo also once ripped a toilet paper wedding dress off while shirtless. And he is a gift
sweet
to
baby
this country.
Jesus. Justin
He's a
Briner
gift to
just
this
sat
community.
there.
Boom, a bonus thing you didn't know.
Boom. Bonus.
Meanwhile, Justin Briner is sitting here like the patron saint that he is. Like, he doesn't know what's
Poor
going
Justin.
on anymore.
Poor Justin Briner had no idea what the fuck was happening. Just in the
Cliff-
video of
and
them
Cliff
ripping it
stops at
off,
the
my
side.
favorite part was when he rips it off. Alex Moore, who's taking the video, just yells in the back, "Now you're a woman!"
And then you have Cliff off to the side too, just like there as well.
Cliff became Bakugo in that moment. His
Kind
name
of
tag,
did.
actually, you can't see it. It says Baku Bro.
Great.
But in terms of, but that is actually a really great point to make. That especially with Asian accents, I know another thing that it came up actually with a lot of people who watched Yuri on Ice was that characters like Yuri didn't have an accent. Minami or the Chinese character, none of them had accents, but all of the European characters did.
Code Geass Sokka to the Exile was doing that too. So it's like, you know.
But I don't know if that one's based on the fact that in the actual original dub, nobody had a fucking accent.
Yeah, but you know what? When they did that, it was okay because it was like there's so many different cultures in that series that it's like, yeah, maybe they should all just have the same accent, so it's just easier on everybody.
Especially with the themes of imperialism and stuff too. And then it's even arguable about at that point in the show's history in chronological order.
Yeah, because Britannia came from America. I don't know how that works, but you know.
Yeah, that's another
It's a thing.
That's another issue for another fucking day with the Itoh the Exiled.
Yeah.
But I still do think that Kenny Green does a good job playing this character, especially when I know him for playing the slime ball mass human that is Kureo-Mato.
Oh boy.
Oh god. Fuck Kureo. As Andrew said, who let that have sex with somebody?
I need to get back to Tokyo Ghoul at some point.
Our friend Andrew from Dub Talk is watching it on Toonami and was very surprised, one, that somebody married him, and two, that somebody had sex with him. He was very offended by this.
It's a valid point that he has.
Yeah, who let Kurt? I'm sorry, but his daughter is fucking hot.
Yeah.
His daughter is my waifu.
Anyways.
But that's a story for another day. But honestly, though, I think both of them do a really good job in this. Again, like Lax said, though, potentially having an Asian American actor do the Japanese character may have benefited in the terms of the accent thing, but having no accent is better than potentially doing an offensive one.
Yeah.
So, everybody good here?
Yeah.
Alright, now we kind of get to go into more of the characters with more meat on their bones in terms of performances. We have the One and M. The One is Frankenstein's monster who everybody is trying to track down to see why does this thing have a soul, but he himself has his own motivations and plans. And M is the government kind of worker who puts Watson into this shit himself, but has ulterior motives as well. So the One is played by R. Bruce Elliott, and M is played by Sean Hennigan. R. Bruce Elliott has been around for fucking ever.
Yeah, he's been in fucking everything. So, you know.
He's been fucking everything. But to give some examples, he is Zillard Quates in Bakano, he is Makarov in Fairy Tale, and he is Richard Moore in Case Closed.
Oh, God.
Sean Hennigan.
I think Makarov was actually the first real time I heard R. Bruce Elliott, or at least the way that I know him. So.
For me,
I've
it
been
was
watching
Bakano.
Fairy Tale for the last 150 something days.
I need to catch up.
Grand Magic Games!
Shit.
Ah!
Anyway, and Sean Hennigan.
Sean Hennigan is known as Tenjin in Noragami, Yoshimura in Tokyo Ghoul, and of all fucking things, he is Maiza Alvaro from Bakano. So in this case, Miza is tracking down Zillard
Ah.
because I had no idea until I looked this up, and now I'm laughing.
Oh my god, that's
Now
great.
that's funny. No.
That is a casting gag that goes several levels deep.
I'm about to say, I'm like, Mr. Mike McFarlane, please tell me this was on purpose.
You didn't even
Please,
direct that
that'd be
anime.
the best thing ever. That'd be the best thing ever.
Tyler Walker.
Also, while we're on this subject, how is how is freaking how is freaking Ian not in this? You know?
Yeah, I'm very. Yeah, how the fuck is Ian Sinclair not in this show?
That's
Yeah.
a very good question.
He's too busy drowning in the Hudson.
I know, it's like this kind of movie is like catnip for Ian Sinclair. So how is he not in this thing at all? So
They locked him in a closet and said they lured him into a closet with like Black Butler shit and then locked him in there.
yeah, exactly.
Probably.
That's right.
Hey,
He's
Ian,
got the
did you hear
movie.
there's
He'll
more
be
Black
fine.
Butler? Oh my god!
Yeah. So-
Is it funny that when I first heard R. Bruce Elliott as the one, for some stupid reason I got him mixed up with Jeremy Schwartz, Crazy Grandpa. Shine on Crazy
Depends.
Grandpa.
Did you watch Dimension W before or after this movie?
Huh?
Did you watch Dimension W before or after this?
Neither. I just got him mixed up for some stupid reason.
Please don't watch Dimension W. It was bad.
Or at least just watch the first episode for Crazy Grandpa and that's it.
Shine on, Jeremy Schwartz, you crazy motherfucker. But no, I think they're actually great playing.
Oh, they're phenomenal in this.
They're phenomenal. They
Especially
play off each other really well.
our Bruce Elliott. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, because the one is fucking terrifying.
yeah. I mean, like, Elliot, like, he goes so deep into that Russian accent. It's crazy.
It's
Or I guess
amazing.
Swiss.
Beautiful.
It would be Swiss because that's where Frankenstein
Sister.
from is Geneva. So,
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
yeah.
But still, like, any time that Arbor Elliott was basically on the screen, it's like you are just enthralled and captured by that performance so easily.
Especially in the climax of the movie.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
he really is, like, it really is one of those examples of the great villain who doesn't come in until the very end of the film and really steals the entire show.
Yup.
So, you know.
And trust me, seeing as somebody who did see this in theaters, when you see him yell, "Hear me, Charles Babbage," and you're like, just with the music and the scenery around him and just how powerful his voice is.
Well, that's one thing Win is very good at, is really epic, scope. So,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Studio Wit, even when they're fucking around, like, makes great shit.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. I own both seasons of Seraph at the End.
If you love Seraph in the End,
Yeah, I
True
love
facts.
the fuck out of that show. That show is the definition of a wit train wreck.
The best
Like-
kind of wit train wreck.
The best description of Seraph at the End comes from Chad James, in that Seraph at the End is like a secret club. Once you get past the shit and you're allowed in, that's when the magic happens.
Yeah, it's very true, actually.
And
Magic
I kind of
being
feel a
season
little
2.
bit about this movie that, like, once you understand why Empire of Corpses is so much fun, it is the gift that keeps on giving.
Kind of is, yeah.
And Arbor Elliott's performance is one of them. Like, and then him mixed against Sean Hannigan as M, who is also, frankly, a villain that comes out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, that was kind of the weird thing too. I was like, M is a villain? Like, especially after seeing Skyfall like a year ago and seeing poor Judi Dench get gunned down, and I'm just like, oh, this is okay. So we're going this route. All right. So,
Sure. We'll go
Judi
with
Dench
it.
didn't die for this shit.
Yeah.
I too
Told to
love
put up with this
Skyfall.
crap.
Seeing Daniel Craig's Bond like crying over her corpse, and it's like here M is just an asshole. And it's just like, okay, well.
It's like, okay, this is good, we're good.
Okay, but then again, Sean Hannigan M versus Voldemort M.
Yeah.
In which, God dear Jesus, if I ever have to see Ray Fiennes' ass on a movie again, I'm gonna kill myself. I've seen The English Patient, damn it.
Yeah.
Ah! Fuck you, college.
Hooray!
Hooray, college! Hooray, beer!
We need more, let's go.
But between the two of them, like,
Oh,
Grandpa
they're two
Screaming
classic
Showdown is
actors.
awesome.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, so getting to
They're
play
both-
off of each other is great. I love it when two, like, really mature actors get to play off of each other. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, like, when you get, like, Michael McConaughey mixed with, I don't know, Richard Epcar, when they get to play off of each other, it's, like, gold for me. So seeing it in something like this is awesome.
And I mean,
So-
considering we kind of had a similar situation happen years ago in Bakano,
Yeah.
it's like, this is just phenomenal casting. It's hilarious casting when you know the Bakano reference, which makes it all the more brilliant.
Yeah.
But
Even then, it is something that you don't get you also don't get to see this a lot in anime,
right.
where you have two older characters with two phenomenal older actors who get to, like, have this discussion with each other and this, like, action and, like, emotion to it. Because a lot of the time, anime does kind of focus around younger characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really
so
does.
you don't get this a lot. So you don't always get the chance to watch older, more mature actors go at it, which sucks.
Yeah.
And even sometimes when you get to hear older actors, I know Lilac knows him as my favorite human being thanks to Death Parade. Like the times in Death Parade where Kent Williams gets to go crazy.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Like that
Yeah,
stuff.
Kent's a bit of a chameleon, so, you know.
Kent
like-
Williams.
Kent Williams
I
is
still can't
phenomenal.
believe Kent Williams was fucking Hattori in Fruits Basket. Thanks, Kent Williams. Making me cry since childhood.
Lack, have you seen Death Parade?
I saw, like, the first couple episodes, but I saw it in Japanese.
Damn it.
So-
Okay, because
Go
Kent's
back and watch the
character-
whole thing in
you
English.
need to
'cause
watch
it's
the whole
fantastic.
Okay.
It's beautiful. Basically, Kent Williams' character, he plays this
Detective.
a detective, and he's brought in against Todd's character, I think it is.
Ah.
'Cause
Yeah.
Todd Habercorn, I think, is the other character for that one. It's a two-part. I think it's like about
Episodes
halfway
9
through the
and
show.
10?
Yeah.
Huh? Something like that. And it's probably one of the more gut-wrenching stories
I
from that
started
whole
cursing.
show.
Jeez, and that's saying
watched
something
it.
for Death Parade.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, Death. Like
It
once
will
that
kick you in
series
the
hit its
balls.
balls out.
Kick you in the emotional field. It's like, oh my god, it's amazing.
But it's just stuff like that, or even like or like in Alice in Zoroku, where the main character is a crotchety old man.
John Swayze for the win, everyone.
John Swayze, everybody.
Sexy grandpa.
And then obviously we're going to have 2 seasons worth of oh my godding coming. Oh my goodness. Did you just make a JoJo's reference? No! This isn't the time for a JoJo's reference. It's always time for a JoJo's reference. Alright, I was making a JoJo's reference. That was our entire last day at Anime Boston.
No!
For the viewers at home, I have completely lost the thread of the conversation.
JoJo's. We're talking about
We're
returning
talking
cards.
JoJo's.
Grandpa
okay, alright.
Grandpa Joestar!
Alright.
Everyone's favorite grandpa.
That's right, you guys had him do a promo. I forgot about that.
Yep.
So
Andrew did that. Thanks, Andrew. But are we good
Andrew.
talking about the 1 and M?
I think so
Yeah.
at this point, yeah. We really gotta keep moving.
the
Alright.
1 and M. I feel like I'm watching The Matrix. Jeez.
Will you take the red pill or the blue pill?
I will take the Russian pill.
Oh, there we go. Perfect segue.
And now to talk about the point of the movie where I was disappointed the most.
Oh, of course you were.
I literally almost got out of my theater and left because I was so pissed about this part of the movie.
Why?
Nikolai did not deserve to die!
To be fair, Nikolai's death was kind of
I was gonna
bullshit.
say, he sounded fine. Like,
No, I loved him,
No,
but he did
it's
not
the,
deserve
it's,
his
it's
fate!
the plot. It's the
Fuck you,
story, it's the
Watson!
problem.
yeah.
Nikolai Kristakin and Alexei Karamazov. These are, I can't pronounce Russian. Don't
Comrade.
even fucking
We got the
laugh.
Russian comrade.
Russian comrade!
Nikolai
I can't even do a Russian accent. I'm just gonna fail.
Nikolai, who is the guide. So at the beginning of the movie, essentially, M sends Watson off to find Karamazov, who has the Empire, I guess what we thought was the Empire of Corpses, at the very beginning. Surprise! It's just the British fucking Empire.
Yeah, supposedly, too, Karamazov has
Victor's notes. In which they find out he doesn't. Victor's notes are in Japan, because why the fuck wouldn't they be?
Just why not? Fuck you, that's why.
Why the fuck not? But Nikolai is their Russian guide who Barnaby and Watson and Friday essentially become friends with. And Alexei Karamazov is this Russian scientist who is out in the mountains of Afghanistan, who essentially knows where the notes are and inadvertently kills himself and Nikolai to atone for their sins. Karamazov being based off of the Russian brothers Karamazov, which is the final novel by Fyodor Dostoevsky, and Nikolai. I wonder, I believe Nikolai is the other brother, actually. I'm using Wikipedia, and it's not very good.
Whoops.
Yeah, Nikolai being another character in the brothers Karamazov. So Nikolai is played by Micah Solisad, and Alexei is played by Mike McFarlane. In terms of roles for Micah Solisad, he is also Yuri Plesetsky in Yuri on Ice, Soul in Soul Eater, and Sun Wan in Yona of the Dawn. Mike McFarlane is everyone's favorite horse, Jean Kirstein in Attack on Titan. He is Mashiro Oji in My Hero Academia, and he is also Odebek Alton in Yuri on Ice. Hilariously, because Yurio and Odebek are buddies. I specifically
Quote,
also...
unquote.
What? Quote... Yeah, they're buddies, quote unquote. Quote unquote. I did particularly mention Yuri P. and Odebek because they are both, while done after this movie, they are both characters with a Russian accent that both of them play. Yuri being from Russia and Odebek being from Kazakhstan. First of all, fuck you, movie, for killing Nikolai the way you did, you evil assholes. I was so mad.
Didn't they give, like, after the fact, Barnaby was like, yeah, I guess they died
for nothing.
treason.
Fuck you, Watson.
No, they were like, no. Wasn't the two of them wanted for treason or something against
Yeah,
Russia?
they were wanted for treason, and they basically suicide.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Like, that little bit is like, that's supposed to explain away why they died.
Why they did? It's
no.
a stupid,
No.
stupid excuse. And
No.
In the words of Nick Fury, that's a stupid excuse, and I'm electing to ignore it.
Exactly.
But no, I love Micah as Nikolai.
Yeah, he was really good. Like Mika's really good at usually playing these kind of characters, and I mean, as far as like the training was for getting the accents right, I think it all came out really well, and I guess he carried a lot of that over for Yuri on Ice.
I believe he actually used the same coach.
Ah, well that makes sense. Like, why would they go and get another one?
Here's a funny thing. When I first saw this movie, I wasn't fond of the accent from Micah. Funny story. I was like, it just, for some reason, didn't click and it didn't work for me. Of course, this is obviously before Yuri on Ice came out when I first watched this movie. And obviously later on, it kind of clicked and I'm like, okay, now it works a little bit more. Maybe it's partially because the tone of voice he used for Nikolai, I'm not sure. Because when I rewatched it, I'm like, I still 100% can't feel it? Like, I don't know. I mean, I think this is one of the performances where I have real mixed feelings about compared to the other performances. A, probably because of the accent, but B, maybe because Micah's voice is very distinguishable among the rest of the cast, and it's like, I don't know how to feel about it attached to this character specifically. I'm just very mixed about Micah's performance. I mean, I wasn't fond of him when I first saw the movie, but, like, when I got to rewatch, I'm like, okay, I don't outright hate it now, but I'm like, I'm still mixed. I mean, because his performance is, Yuri and Yuri on Ice is obviously phenomenal, because Yuri's a little shitlord. And it worked wonderfully. But Nikolai, for the most part, is like this very upstanding, like innocent guy who just likes to joke around. I'm like, I don't know.
He was best comrade.
Best comrade.
Best comrade.
Best comrade.
I mean,
I want to cosplay the shit out of him too. Still.
I mean, the same can kind of be said about Mike McFarlane as Karamazov to an extent too. Because I don't know if you could notice it. I felt like there were moments where he might have slightly started dropping the accent a little bit. Someone's playing Pokemon.
No, okay, so my dad, if you couldn't hear the noise in the back, was trying to lure Shinya out, my cat, and he was going, pss, 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 and I was just like, Dad, open the door and pick the freaking cat up. And then my phone had knocked over, because I moved back to try to get her to jump off the bed so she would stop meowing. But she was just laying on my bed being all cute and shit like a cat does.
But yeah, I feel like, because it was mostly towards, Yes! It was mostly toward Karamazov's death and that whole bit, where, like, he's just bleeding from, like, the mouth and shit, and, like, talking to Watson. I think, like, I noticed...
Chalk it up to the opium, damn it.
Basically. I think it was around there where I started noticing, like, maybe he dropped the accent a couple points. Like...
Yeah, because he goes through a pretty hardcore monologue before his death.
He does.
Yeah.
I would say out of the two of them, I find Nikolai to be much stronger and much more endearing. Not out of my own personal, like, Solasad, just because I actually enjoyed his performance a lot, and I was super pissed again that he fucking dies.
I'm just more mad at the bullshit excuse after the fact. Oh, they were
treason!
They were wanted for treason, so they just wanted to die. I'm like, that's
well. To be fair, Karamazov did steal the fucking notes and hid them in Japan.
But it doesn't explain Nikolai.
Well, Nikolai. That really doesn't explain Nikolai, but I think Micah's performance as Nikolai is incredibly endearing, especially bouncing off of who plays Barnaby.
That's true.
The friendship, like, because you can tell that he's genuinely a good person, and it comes through in the performance a lot, and it makes, I think that's what helps make Nikolai's death so convincing. And how painful his screaming is, too.
Right.
Because if you've seen the movie, Nikolai does not get to go very, very nicely.
No.
To put it frankly. It is not a fun death.
Thanks, Karamazov, you little bastard.
And I think, too, it's probably one of my favorite sequences in the movie is when, Barnaby, Watson, and Friday are actually leaving where Karamazov is.
Yep.
The whole sequence with Karamazov is honestly one of the best set pieces in the movie. Just in terms of the music and the atmosphere, because it's awfully fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Because you have the village of corpses with child corpses.
Child corpses and potentially baby corpses. Because I'm pretty sure there was a woman swaddling a little baby.
No, child, baby. I'm pretty sure somebody was pregnant.
Probably.
But I think I agree with Steph where I can also see Karamazov's accent slipping a tiny bit. In the monologue where he's going on. I would also like to point out that Karamazov also killed his butler brother and was the experimental one.
Yeah, that's true too.
But I feel like that Mike and Micah do a great job in tandem with each other. I wouldn't say they are necessarily the strongest performances in the film.
No.
But I do think that they are still really good, and I've heard a lot worse with Russian accents before.
Yeah, that's fair.
Lack, how do you feel?
I would say so too. I mean, again, we don't really stay with them for very long. But I would say that they're definitely serviceable as far as, like, the accents go, and, like, you know, they're both top-notch actors, so I think, you know, they're strong enough to be able to, like, get away with it for as long as they needed to for the film.
Yeah.
So.
And I think a lot of it also does rest on them having a very good accent coach as well.
Yeah.
Because if I'm correct, she actually has been a voice actress herself and did some of the Russian for Hellsing Ultimate.
Let me see. Russian dialect advisor, Lauren Kahn. No.
Okay.
No, she's done spotting work for Your Lie in April, but she's also been cast probably as very, very minor roles in Kill la Kill and Love Live School Idol movie.
Oh, so she's California-based.
Yep, California-based, which explains
Which
a lot.
would make sense for certain actors who are, for some people who are in this movie. So are we good to move on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, so the next character we're going to talk about by himself because he's one of the 4 main characters, and that is Frederick Barnaby.
Motherfucking Barnaby.
Motherfucking Barnaby.
Oh, God. Yay.
Frederick Gustav Barnaby was actually a British intelligence officer. He was actually based off a real person.
Oh, nice. Okay. That makes sense.
He is based off a real British army man who,
Don't expect him to have actually been like what he was in the movie in real life, though.
No.
So.
Yeah,
Not in the slightest.
Yeah, not in the slightest. Barnaby's Ride to Kiva appears in Joseph Conrad's short story, The Youth. Essentially, he is this known for something called the Ride to Kiva, which is a big thing in British cultural reference. I wish I knew more, but unfortunately, he only died at age 42, so
Wow.
didn't live a long life. But Barnaby is essentially the biggest badass in this movie.
Yeah.
He punches a Frankenstein monster and makes him blow up with a flamethrower.
Yeah. He's also a dick, too. And a cock block.
I didn't realize,
He's a cock block for Watson. It's great.
this is a great movie if you're a JoJo fan. Honestly.
Yeah, really it is.
Yeah.
Surprise, this is the JoJo's movie you never thought you wanted.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But Frederick Barnaby is played by our writer, J. Michael Tatum.
Woohoo!
Because of course he is.
Because of course he is.
Because he is also known as Sebastian in Black Butler, Isaac Dion in Bakano, and Tenya Ida in My Hero Academia. And I swear to God, I actually had to look up who this was in the movie theater.
Funny.
I had no fucking idea.
Really?
I couldn't tell. I was either that into the movie or just that drunk.
Fun
This was a
fact,
dinner theater.
too. And, cause...
To be fair, this was a dinner and a show movie theater.
I'm trying to find it. Cause, fun fact, Tatum is also in the third Borderlands game. I forget his character. The name of his character. Fuck.
Hang on. Let me see if I can
I'm
find
trying to look it up right now, actually. I'm like, shit. But,
Sir Hammerlock?
yeah. And that's
Yeah.
what his performance of Barnaby almost reminds me of instantly. Is Sir Hammerlock from Borderlands. I'm not gonna lie. So much like it. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. Cause I've played a little bit of Borderlands before. When the guy I was dating at that time, he played a lot of video games and he owned Borderlands. And it was just amazing. I'm just like, yes! But I loved every second of it. If we're going back to chewing that scenery like a golden ham, here we go.
Yeah, well,
Surf it on the platter, call it a day.
these are kind of the roles that Jay was born to play, so...
Mm-hmm. It was amazing.
But yeah, like, the accent's right, the personality's right, everything really fits between Jay and Barnaby. So...
It does. And
He is so much fun.
yeah, and if you don't pay attention, basically like Megan said, because she had to look up who the fuck was voicing Barnaby in the theater. If you don't
Very
pay
discreetly
attention,
on my phone, by the way.
if you don't pay attention, you won't notice it's him. Which is the funny and the best part, I think.
He is the most fun I think I can remember outside of Isaac of Tatum playing.
Yeah, honestly.
Just because Barnaby is such a douchebag. Like, he's kind of this big huge British asshole.
So,
And the best way for you to gauge his character comes within the first 30 minutes of the movie, which is his introduction where they're getting chased down by bomb zombies. And then when he cock blocks him off of Hadley by peeing.
No.
Where he rocks out with his cock out.
Okay. Do you remember when I said earlier about that short little feature that's on the DVD Blu-ray? So the other interview that they had aside from McFarlane and Tatum was for the voice actors for Hadley and Watson. And Hadley, the voice actress who voices Hadley, she turns to Watson and she's like, yeah, like, I don't know if you knew about this, but basically, like, Barnaby basically like, stops us from having, like, romantic feelings. And then Watson's like, wow, he's such a dick. It was great. It was
That's
great.
funny.
I'm like, oh my god.
But I also feel like Barnaby is, like, the most reasonable character in the entire movie.
No, honestly,
by
it is.
virtue of wanting to destroy the goddamn notes.
Yes. Everybody's like, I want to keep the notes. I want to use them. Barnaby's
like,
fuck
nah,
that
fuck
noise.
this shit. We're destroying this.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah.
He's like, did Karamazov and Nikolai died for this horse shit, Watson? What is wrong with you?
He's the most sensible character, even though he's a douche.
I was gonna be so pissed at the end if he didn't live. Like, I thought he got blown to smithereens and he just walks out like nothing fucking happened. God
cool
bless.
guys don't look at explosions. It's true facts. Come on now.
It's fucking true.
But yeah, I think this is definitely one of my favorite performances from the movie.
It was hamtastic.
He's a standout, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Speaking of things that stand out, Hadley's figure.
Segue!
I'm sorry, boobs don't work like that, Wit!
Well, she is a robot, so...
Remember, kids, Edison designed this to be his daughter.
Yep.
His magical corpse-controlling daughter.
So
we let
Hadley
Kill la Kill
Lilith,
get away
everyone.
with this, you know.
So Hadley Lilith, everyone.
Hadley Lilith.
Or probably...
Lilith Hadley.
Or probably better known by the end of the film, Irene Adler, ladies and
Adler.
gentlemen.
Yes, because this is also the world's weirdest Sherlock prequel.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Sherlock Holmes, sup Chuck Huber, you were in there
Sup,
for
Chuck-
5 seconds.
5 seconds. That's why I didn't want
it.
to put it in here. But no, Lilith Hadley is based off of the character of the future Eve by Auguste Villers de Illes Adam.
Which actually does have Thomas Edison in it, right? So...
Yes.
That makes sense.
Villers opens his novel with his main character, a fictionalized Thomas Edison. So yeah, good on Project Itoh for using a lot of science fiction references.
For reading more than I have. So,
There's a lot of
you know.
little intricacies I never even knew about until you kind of like do just look a little bit of research on it. It's like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, every
It's actually-
good anime movie needs a deliberate waifu. So, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even
Speaking of
if it-
deliberate
if it-
waifus,
Can we talk about Akira Mato again?
yes, my wife,
Megan's wife.
my waifu, because Lilith Hadley is played by Morgan Garrett. Morgan Garrett has also played characters like Daya Kurosawa in Love Line Sunshine, my waifu Akira Mato in Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Route A, and Meg Kautaka in Assassination Classroom. To which, this was maybe outside of her character in Attack on Titan, actually, in Assassination Classroom, and I think Akira had... No, Tokyo Ghoul Route A was done. So I was familiar with her, but not, like, super duper familiar with her by the point of this movie.
Yeah, same.
Especially because Meg Kautaka kind of blends into the back, and Love Live hadn't been out yet. To which she is hilarious in Love Live Sunshine. So I adored her as Hadley.
I think
she
wonderful.
She carries Hadley's character so well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Especially because Hadley's big character story is because she's an automaton. She's trying to find a soul of her own, essentially, because she wants to be able to have emotions and like cry and feel joy and all this stuff. So there's a little side story for Hadley throughout the film too. And she's like asking Watson, can you figure out like what makes a soul, and when you do, can you help me? That kind
I now know why you cry, but it is something I cannot do. Yeah.
I'll be back.
Oh no.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. To essentially establish the first moments when you see Hadley, Hadley comes the fuck out of nowhere in a cart, whips out a flamethrower,
Yep.
and kills a bunch of corpses. And then proceeds to just show up while Watson is sitting out by the river, have a chat with him, try to flirt with him, only to be cock-blocked by J. Michael Tatum.
Who's pissing in the river.
Sitting in the river. So she also saw him rock out with his cock out.
Yes.
But no, I adored Hadley, and I like the fact that she came off as very accentless.
Yeah.
When she could have easily been given a shitty Southern Belle accent. Because she was Union soldier.
Yeah.
I feel like she also had twinges of an English accent though, here and there.
True.
Well, she is supposed to become,
Irene Adler.
who ironically was not British but like Rachel McAdams didn't play her.
Artistic license.
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. I actually like the Robert Downey Jr. movies, but anyway.
You're not alone. A lot of people really do.
Yeah.
You can have your Cumberbatch versus Junior fight somewhere else. But
I mean, I like them both too, but I prefer the Sherlock TV show.
fight!
That's just me. That's just me.
Fight for my amusement now.
No. Fuck you.
We gotta finish the thing up.
We gotta finish this
Damn
shit.
it, we've got to finish, woman. We can't stop now. This is corpse country.
We gotta keep going.
But I also find it very... I shared her performance. And I feel like none of her emotional moments were really forced.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I agree
Especially
with that.
because she was supposed to come off as a being with no emotions. But it wasn't like wooden, like, I wish to have a soul.
No. Well,
She spoke like a real person.
right, because the whole thing is we don't even know she's an automaton until like the latter half of the film anyway.
And she also gets that moment in the climax where the one tries to make her his actual waifu.
Yup.
That's right, because he puts in the soul of the Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, which is
That's right, boys.
When
We're
I-
getting every science fiction poll we can.
the thing is like when I first read Frankenstein, I didn't expect the bride to be as big of a plot point as she actually was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it's actually
It's good on the movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
I mean, at the same time, Hadley, she not only seemed very human, she also had this sense of like curiosity to her voice.
Yeah.
Because remember, she's going to Watson like, hey, what is your theory about this soul thing? Like, she has that bit of curiosity mixed into her. So it's one of those things where it's like, she has emotion to her, but she just doesn't realize it to begin with. She thinks she doesn't have it. And then at the end, Watson,
She had the heart the whole time.
yeah, and then the end, Watson's like, you have a soul, dude. You just didn't know it the entire time. Like, I can tell you do, even just... And then it's like an aw.
So the one piece was friendship.
They're about to kiss, and all of a sudden Barnaby is like chokehold on Watson. We're like, here we go again.
Welcome back to Barnaby's cock blocking skills.
Yes.
And then obviously she follows Watson in secret as Irene Adler.
Yeah.
Right.
Which brings up its own questions of how the fuck this is the world's weirdest Sherlock prequel. But I think we're good to move on to our final two characters.
Woohoo.
John Watson, who, if I need to explain who the fuck John Watson is to you,
What the fuck is wrong with you?
what the fuck? And
What kind of fat girl are you? No.
Quack, quack, quack! But obviously, John Watson being based off of Dr. John Watson from the Sherlock Holmes stories, and Friday is based off of Robinson Crusoe, the Noble Savage.
And James Bond, kind of? I don't understand how that fit in, but... Because...
Who knows at this point?
Well, his full title is Noble Savage 007.
Yep.
So I'm just like... So he's supposed to be James Bond, but with M dead by the end, it doesn't even matter. So...
No. You wanna know who Friday is?
Yeah?
Motherfucking pterodactyl.
Yeah, Friday, the reason why we're putting Friday and John Watson together is this.
It's just the movie does.
Friday, for actual human dialogue, has maybe about a paragraph's worth.
Yield.
Yeah.
The rest can be described not as screaming, but as screeching very loudly, like a pterodactyl.
It's a great quote from the voice actor who played him when he was playing another character. I can't remember what it was, but he basically is like, I taste blood. So.
Oh god.
So to go over who plays this, we'll start with Friday. Friday is played by his Lord and Master Todd fucking Habercorn. And John Watson, and our narrator
Hashtag Haber Friday. Sorry. Anyway.
This is going up on a Friday too, which makes it better.
Woo! Done!
Good job, Black!
Good job, everybody.
And our John Watson is played by Jason Lebrecht. Jason Lebrecht's roles include Train in Black Cat, Yato in Noragami, and Shaoran in Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles. Todd Habercorn should basically need no introduction at this point, but in case you don't know him, he is Fiero Percinezo in Bakano, Haruka Nanase in Free and Free Eternal Summer, and Ling in FMA Brotherhood. If you haven't watched the W's Award, because they're almost 3 hours long, you will know that I gave Todd Habercorn the award for the Golden Ham for screeching like a pterodactyl for 2 hours. My description of the process goes as follows. I'd like to imagine that Mike McFarlane gave Todd Habercorn a bunch of Quaaludes and stuck him in a booth and said, have at it, bitch!
You can't lock a pterodactyl in a booth, they're too smart. Sorry.
If you could cure cancer, why would I want to do that? If you know what I'm referencing.
And here's a little bit of irony, too, if we're talking about W's. In terms of Jason Lebrecht.
Oh, good God, Jason Lebrecht, you poor bastard.
Jason Lebrecht got the short end of the stick last year. So...
Jason, okay, to preference, somehow on this podcast, whenever we talk about Jason Lebrecht, somebody in the group shits on him.
Why?
This may be the one night we aren't.
How. Usually 9 times out of 10, it's Gigi.
I think we're gonna break the curse here, but dude.
Hallelujah!
No, but I guess I at least have to say this, because the W Awards, what I did, I'm a terrible human being. I gave him a worst performance award because Black Butler Book of Murder is a thing that existed that year.
I'm sorry, Jason, you're a perfectly fine actor, but
we love you, Jason, but Finian, what the fuck? At least with this one, this is a phenomenal accent. I have no problems with this performance. I love this performance. Done.
He is absolutely like 120% like committed to the role, and it's really great. And he playing the main character, he really stands out.
Not only that, but he had also distinguishing voices, not just for Watson himself, but the narrator too.
Yeah.
Because the narrator obviously is an older version of Watson, recounting all the stuff going on. And you
After God knows what the fuck Watson did to himself.
That part I have an issue with. I don't know what the fuck happened. Same thing with Friday. Like, how the fuck did that happen?
The power of gay science.
I don't even know.
Okay, look. Let's just get this out of the way. Nobody's that committed to a human being without wanting to fuck it at the end.
Well,
unless you're asexual.
It is the 1800s. So bromance was a little bit more like extravagant back then. So.
Is that like the code word for gay? Or?
Well, it's. If you look at a lot of the letters men would write each other during the time, you could easily, like, say it like, oh, these guys were clearly gay. But that's just how it was back then.
Honestly, yeah. It's very true.
Just, yeah, I know.
But yeah.
Then again, this is
boy
anime,
is committed to his
yeah.
buddy.
But yeah, like, I know for some stupid reason we've shit on Jason LeBrecq out of nowhere.
And this is one of the times that we can't.
This is one of the times where we cannot, because it is a beautiful performance.
It reminded me a lot of early John Bergmeyer.
Actually, yeah, absolutely, I can see it.
Yeah.
But
And the way that, like Bergmeyer would always have this kind of, very light, very, youthful kind of sound to him. So.
Yeah, because he had to obviously bring that in for, at least for Watson for the majority of the film. And again, like I was saying, there's a separate distinguishing voice when you're going into the narrator side of it, where he's obviously a bit more older, and he's just telling this story about how the first thing I need is a corpse. I'm like, okay.
The first thing I need is a corpse.
It's a corpse.
Yeah.
Yeah, the narration, like, that is
great.
such a chilling way to begin the movie.
Yeah. That sold me instantly. I was intrigued the first line.
Yeah, well, I remember the first time I watched the trailer for Empire of Corpses, and I was like, I need to find out what this is. Because, this is so cool. Like...
No, and I think it speaks to how well the performance is. If everybody, including myself, when you watch something like that and you hear a voice like that and you're just like, okay, I need to see this movie to see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
That's just a sign of how well LeBrecq does.
It's kind of a shame this film didn't really take off.
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, maybe it'll get a resurgence later on, but it really does feel like it kind of was put on the back burner, and it deserves so much more than that.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, I'm just like, I just loved it because he really carried the movie through.
Yeah.
Like, he from start to finish, he just made it his own thing, and it was phenomenal. Now, we should probably talk about the pterodactyl in the room.
He was fine. He was fine.
He was fine for, making screeching noises for about, 2 hours?
2 hours of
You try to play a character like Friday.
I mean, it's...
Yeah, I feel bad for both dudes who play Friday in both the Japanese and the English.
Yeah.
They're both pretty well-known actors.
I mean, to be fair, giving Todd some credit here, it would probably be a big strain on the voice.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after several takes of doing maybe the same thing over and over again.
Of course, playing Natsu for so long, you would think he'd be able to, be fine with
Please
it.
don't bring up Natsu.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't. Natsu gives me moments.
no,
I don't know what that means. Anyway.
Natsu makes me want to drink.
But, going in, really talking about, actually talking about Todd as Friday, definitely it's he probably has the most difficult role out of anyone in the movie, because he's mostly screeching for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So not only is it a strain on the voice, it's getting the emotion across with feeling pain, feeling anger, all these kinds of emotions at the same time, making sure they come across properly. And then the dialogue he does manage to get, we actually get Todd doing 2 accents.
Yeah.
We have
Todd
the English
has
accent,
actually
obviously.
never had a bad English accent. Because
No.
we've heard him do it before. He's actually pretty good at English accents.
Yeah, honestly.
So
he has the English accent.
Kevin the what for? If I had as much bright as Dio! Or whatever the line is.
And then, because Todd also had to do a twinge of the Russian accent too, because when the one is recreating...
That's right! I forgot
creating
about
the
that,
Bride
yeah.
of Frankenstein, he's also transferring himself into Friday. So we get to hear Todd do a little bit of a different accent, a Russian accent of some kind on that little bit.
Yeah.
So Todd had probably the most difficult role to play in this film, and taking all of that into account, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm Todd, I'm done. I'm you win. You win.
And a big shout out also to Friday's Seiyu Ayumu Murase, who a lot of people would know is Hinata from Haikyuu.
Yeah.
For screeching his poor little heart out too, because he's a tiny little kid. He's a tiny human. Him and Todd, that's one other thing. Todd is also very tiny.
He actually is, yeah.
Like in height, not in like swollenness. The man is muscular.
I think he's probably at least a little bit taller than I am, and I'm like 5'5".
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
5'6".
So I tower over him. Got it.
You probably like tower over.
You're probably like Gigi's height.
Yeah.
Gigi's really fucking tall.
Gigi is tall.
Gigi is taller than the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
Like we could only be taller than her if we pulled Muppet Man.
I think she does she push like 6 foot, I think?
Yeah, she pushes almost 6 foot.
Yeah.
But honestly, and I actually find it really funny that now looking at it online that McFarlane actually went a different route with the narrator than the Japanese did.
What did the Japanese do?
Japanese, the narrator and Watson are played by 2 different people.
He probably didn't want to have to pay another actor.
Well, Breck, you can do two distinct accents, right?
I'm about to say, like, in this situation, Jason's more than capable of doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't see a need for them to go with 2 different people in this case.
Yeah, no, that's just
It's a little different from Ben Diskin to Richard Epcar. So,
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like a huge age gap where it's
Yeah.
like, which I can't wait to get that on Blu-ray.
Pre-order.
Do it now, children. Though by the time this is gonna come out, I believe it'll be out on Blu-ray.
Or I think it comes out later in the month, actually.
No, I think it comes out June 22nd, but I could be wrong. Anyway,
No, it's July.
So
It comes out in July.
I'm dumb. Anyway, overall feelings on this movie and this dub.
This is a fun fucking movie. Like
In an even more fun dub.
It's
You
stupid
feel
fun.
you feel smart while you're watching it though.
You do.
So,
Like,
Yeah, I'm an intellectual.
Yeah.
I watch Empire of Corpses.
it's one of those really it's one of those movies that shouldn't work but it does.
yeah,
So,
honestly, yeah. And the dub is very, very solid. I know personally I have just a few small problems here and there, mostly for the 2 big Russian characters we see in the movie, Nikolai and Karamazov, but everything else is so much fun. And like taking into consideration some of the actors we've had issues with in the past, some of the actors who are having difficult situations in their roles, fucking pterodactyl noises for 2 hours, for God's sake. Like, taking everything into consideration, you can tell that a lot of hard work went into this, and it's a very solid dub for a rather fun and probably slightly underrated film.
Yeah, I'm glad I bought it. So,
Yeah,
you
same.
know.
Same.
Oh yeah, I day one bought this when it came out on Blu-ray and DVD.
I think Megan was like, you need to get Empire of Corpses. You need to get Empire of Corpses. Eventually I bought it.
Oh yeah, I would
That's it.
not shut the fuck up
You
about
would
this
not
movie.
shut up. She was like, I know, Megan. I know. I'll
and
get it
being-
eventually.
Being a geek who loves like Sherlock Holmes and James Bond and even Frankenstein, I'm just like, oh, well there you go, that's perfect for me.
Yeah,
so,
same.
you know,
Same thing with me, because I love me my mystery and my horror stuff too.
yeah.
So, it's such... The movie itself has a bunch of fun little intricacies and goodies in it that if you are familiar with like science fiction and mystery and all that kind of stuff, you'll know and you'll appreciate it. And then for
Also, robot ladies with big boobs and a flamethrower.
Yes.
So.
and then
Hey,
and then like
hey, someone's into that shit.
and then I mean at the same time in terms of the English dub there are
Party?
fun little things.
Sorry.
In terms of dub there are also fun little things that I mean, I don't know if they were done on purpose, because, I mean, again, going back to the Sean Hannigan or Bruce Elliott situation, and Bacano, that's the funniest shit ever. I didn't even realize it until Megan brought
It's
it
like one of
up.
my favorite coincidental casting of all time.
Yeah, and then you have, for example, also, like, Jason Lebrecht, who the last time we heard him do anything with a British accent was Black Butler as Finian, and
Everyone I know wanted to die.
yeah, everyone's not the biggest fan of Finian, but then it turns out absolutely phenomenal performance here. I think the dub is very, very solid. The movie itself is a lot of fun, and you should at least try and see if you can see it once, at the very least,
Yeah.
just to say you did.
Yeah.
But if you really, really like it and enjoy it like we do, go and buy it. Go and buy it.
Yeah, it's like $20. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it is a well worth your ass being dragged to see this movie at once
Yeah.
because
Yes.
It is some of the most fun you'll have in 2 hours, but the dub is so solid and so entertaining, and I think endears the film more to me than watching it in the Japanese would have. I feel like this is something, when I left the theater, I loved every second of it. I needed to see it again. She wouldn't
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I wouldn't shut the fuck up for like 3 months about this fucking thing.
Wouldn't.
But I feel like Mike and his team and all the actors who worked on this and the accent coaches put a lot of heart and soul into this movie and made it one of the reasons I enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
This is a movie when everyone's like, show me one of your favorite anime movies, I whip this out first. Like, mostly because I don't actually own my favorite anime movie that cost me an arm and a leg to get a fucking hold of.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for re-releasing Millennium Actors, you fucks.
Really?
But
mine didn't cost that much at all.
I haven't found a decent cheap copy yet. And fuck you for having it. But this is a movie that everyone deserves to see it once just to have fun. This is the fun Project Itoh movie, as we've like to come to call it.
Yes.
I mean, there's zombies, there's cart chases, there's war, there's crazy Russian opium experiments. There is a man screeching like a pterodactyl in Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck you want in a movie, but if you want, like, deep, fun action as well as amazingly put together sci-fi, you cannot go wrong with this movie and this dub.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so I think it's time to hit the time machine and come back to the current age. Goodbye, British Empire. I guess we'll remember you fondly.
Is that what they said during Brexit? Or,
we're not gonna talk about that.
Cheerio, Empire. We're leaving now.
So for the folks at home, where can they find Empire of Corpses, Megan?
You can find Empire of Corpses out on your shelves in both DVD and Blu-ray format. I would suggest you can probably get it on Amazon, Bright Stuff, your local Best Buy. Unfortunately, is not streaming anywhere like a lot of anime films tend to not be. I know I bought mine at Best Buy. But alright guys, time to whore yourselves out.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go. You can find me on Twitter at LikeTheWatcher. That's basically about it. I have my YouTube page, Like the Watcher, Liam AC. Haven't really been doing much with it, but if you want to keep up with me, Twitter is the best way to go. I'm on. That's really about it.
That's really it.
Yeah, I'm working on like my portfolio, and now that I finished college and stuff like that, and like.
Yay! I forgot you graduated. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm scripting something that may become something later on, but I'm like trying to keep that because it's probably going to be a while. So
yeah.
Does that mean I'm next?
Yes.
Okay. I am Stephanie, or some people know me as Lilac. And I used to do anime reviews a long time ago. That's where the nickname came from. But anyway, you can follow me on Twitter at Lilac Anime Review, with review being spelled REVUE. At this point, really my main project that I do anything for anymore is just the podcast in general. Whether that may be a lot of editing, a lot of discussions, a lot of wrangling this group of goobers on a daily basis. Because, dear sweet baby Jesus, sometimes I don't know what to do with you guys. But yeah, Twitter is probably the best way to follow me and keep up with stuff I do on a daily basis. So.
And my name is Megan. You can follow me at QueenEra2 on Twitter, where I mostly shitpost and make bad threads and bad jokes. But if you want to follow this lovely little podcast and you're on our YouTube page, you can obviously subscribe and turn on the little bell to get updates whenever we post a video, usually every Wednesday, and obviously for Summer at the Movies every Friday. Mm-hmm. We have a schedule up on, again, our spring update video. You can also follow us on Twitter at dubtalkpodcast, Tumblr, Instagram, social media, and you can find us hitting some cons up over the summer.
Yep.
I know Steph and I are gonna both be at Anime Fest. I'm also gonna be at Metro. Ow! I just bit myself.
Oh, owie.
Dumbass Megan. I'll also be at MetroCon. But
I think we tossed around the possibility of going to Anime in November too. I think, but
possibly if my sister doesn't drag me to Disney World.
Not confirmed, but a possibility.
Just Roots is confirmed because he worked at the
Roots is confirmed. He's staffed there.
But I want to thank you guys for doing our first Summer at the Movies episode. We hope you really enjoy this whole big project that we did. We have a lot of other groups and duos getting to strut their stuff.
Yep.
But I think our little triad of zombies and British empiring went great. So
yeah, so
everybody say goodnight.
So yeah,
everybody.
I'm about to say, make sure you come back next week because Amon and Steves are going to be talking about another Project Itoh film that has been released. They're going to be talking about Harmony. So make sure you come back here next Friday so you can catch that from the two of them. And see anything else we're coming up with for Summer at the Movies because it's a very fun lineup for our first Summer at the Movies. And hopefully, and if you guys like it, let us know. Because
we'll find more movies.
I'll say there are obviously plenty more movies for these besides from the ones we're going to be talking about. So maybe we can make it a yearly thing. I don't know, but that's up to you guys if you enjoy it. So yeah, let us know.
All
right. And now with that, we wish you all good night.
Good day to you, fellow. I don't know. What am I thinking?
Later.
I'm brain dead. Goodbye. I'm brain dead. I'm a zombie now. Here we go.
All we wanna do is eat your brains. We're not unreasonable. I mean, no one's gonna eat your eyes.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
And otaku on, my friends.